Washington football team.
Okay.
The mascotless
What color are
wonder.
the jerseys? Red?
What color?
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, they're red.
Yeah.
So
No, maroon, actually, for
or maroon.
Yeah, maroon, I should say.
Dark red. Well, it's
But yeah, what were your overall thoughts on the WFTs?
it's interesting because I like some of the picks, and I actually think they did a good job in the second and third round. But some of what they did was a little confusing. I think the Jamin Davis pick was a bit of a reach. I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was a better player. And then they had a shot at him again, I think, in the second round, and then they didn't take it again.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So, but for me, I think they did a good job of kind of addressing their needs. I mean, they needed another corner to kind of go up against some of the wide receivers. They got Benjamin St. Juste out of Minnesota, who was okay. I mean, competitive in the Big Ten. And then Samuel Cosme was an offensive tackle who's really athletic, and I think that offensive line was good. Was good last year, and it just needed to be shored up on the edges. And then Diami Brown was one of my favorite later round wide receivers. Mm-hmm. He's a speedster out of North Carolina, and I think he'll really open up some room for Terry McLaurin to really succeed next year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I agree on the sentiment with you guys. I will say, being living in Tennessee, watched a lot of SEC football. I do like the Jamin Davis pick. I think he's an overall good, aggressive linebacker. Someone that actually we didn't really speak about too much in our pre-draft. That being said, though, a lot of what I watched him was when I was at a friend's house, and they played Tennessee, and Tennessee is not good at football, so take that for what it's worth. But that being said, though, all in all, I think their draft was fine. They're similar to the Eagles, where they have so many needs, and the one thing it's very easy to pick apart what they didn't pick, which I'll get to in a second. But I think all the picks that they did have, I think, did address specific needs. They already have one of the best defenses in the league, so then providing even more depth might provide some of these rookies time to grow and shine even later. So, the Jamin Davis only sees minimal playing time this year, but he's able to develop behind that great defense. It's only going to be better for the team. But that being said, Samuel Cosme pick I think is good value at 51st overall, and I do like the receiver picks and even their tight end pick, John Bates, with the fourth round pick.
Yeah, no, yeah. I also like Shaka Toney. He was a pretty disruptive edge rusher. He's a more athletic guy, slightly undersized, but I just think that's a good outside linebacker-esque guy who can kind of blitz off the edge when you want to bring five guys. But I think they did a good job. There wasn't anything that really blew me away with wow, they got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah at 52 overall. There wasn't anything that really jumps off the screen at me. But then again, I don't think that they necessarily needed that. I think they know that Ryan Fitzpatrick is their guy coming into this year. I think they know that they're going to play hard-nosed football. I mean, their defense last year was incredible. They have 4 first-round picks on that front line, and now I think they have 6 first-round picks in the front 7.
Yeah.
So, but I think that defense improved off of a defense that was top 5 last year. So yeah. What about you? Overall, how do you think that they really did?
So overall, I would say a B. Overall, like I said, I think they addressed a lot of the key points that they needed. The reason why it's not a little bit higher is so the one thing that they really needed on this team, I would say, is a quarterback. And with these 5 quarterbacks here now, I will say the Jags, the Jets, and then the 49ers weren't going anywhere. And they are 19th overall. And maybe they didn't want to get into a bidding war with the Bears, but the Cowboys definitely seem interested in trading, and they probably would have only cost them a first-round pick, so to say. then not getting Justin Fields or not getting Mac Jones, because now they have no real plan at quarterback. Right now it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. They have Dwayne Haskins waiting. Maybe they think they can try and develop Dwayne Haskins, but I don't know if that's really...
No, Dwayne Haskins is on the Steelers. He's cut. He's off the team.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Correct. Wait, so then who's their other quarterback? I don't know who their... So that's they don't really have a...
Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback.
Yeah, and I like Taylor Heineke. He showed a lot of heart. But is he going to be able to stay healthy? Is he going to be able to bring it every single week? Who knows? I could be 100% wrong. But not having that backup plan, because you could still sign both Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick and then trade up and go and draft Justin Fields. You know what I mean? You still go and do that. And you see Tua had success last year with Ryan Fitzpatrick as a sign. You bring in Justin Fields. And also, and I will say, if I'm Justin Fields, I'd rather get drafted by Washington than Chicago, because Chicago is a dysfunctional organization. Washington, Washington's going through some stuff right now, but the overall, the team, the defense is only going to get better. I mean that. Also,
the head coach Ron Rivera versus Matt Nagy is hands down like a way better situation in Washington.
Yeah. So I feel like they missed an opportunity, and they had a decent amount of picks. And similar to the Eagles, you pick the best player available. I think at a lot of those picks. So why not take a chance? I mean, give up a first-round pick next year, try and be aggressive, because if you get that quarterback, then now that's your franchise quarterback for the next several years. Hopefully, you know what I mean. But now, though, I could easily see them, if they could potentially make the playoffs and be in the same spot next year. They could also, and they didn't take an opportunity either to draft Kyle Trask or Kellen Mond or Davis Mills or something like that. Maybe they were planning to if they fell to the third round, because all three of those guys were taken immediately off the board. So that's just where I would wish they would have addressed that position, because if there was a position in need for them, that was a position.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Right now, I think they were kind of dead set on Fitzpatrick being their guy, and they did need a decent bit on that team. I mean, they needed an offensive weapon. Maybe the asking price was just too high.
Yeah,
and maybe they have a guy in 2022 that they really like that is coming up.
Yeah.
The only problem is, I think they're going to be too good. I mean, even if they don't make the playoffs, I think they're going to be picking in the low teens to really be able to pick a guy next season and be able to accurately like project where he's going to go.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. So maybe we can see if, I mean, where there's going to be several quarterbacks, there'll probably be first round picks next year. Sam Rattler, that's something that we'll talk about for sure. But and some guys will emerge. You know, Joe Burrow kind of came out of nowhere, and now he's got millions of dollars. So who knows?
Mac Jones was the same way.
If they are in the low teens, much easier to trade up from, I guess, 13 to 5 than it is from 19 to 5. So we'll have to see.
I don't know, but overall, so my thoughts, I'm going to give them a B, just a B, because like you, there's nothing that really jumps off the page for me. I wish they would have gotten a quarterback, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad they didn't as a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
But they definitely needed something there just to kind of develop for the future. But I do like some of the picks.
I agree as well.
Like I said, Samuel Cosme, Diami Brown, Shaka Toney.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to give them a B. They did fill most of their needs. So
I agree as well. Yeah. And so it wasn't like the Steelers where not only like did the picks not make sense, but they didn't even address like
the major needs.
Like they addressed positions and added depth and added good talent. But I did feel like I just where that team's at, especially like with that second. Even though they did get Azeez Ojulari, no, never mind. They got who do they get with their second pick?
Samuel Cosme.
Yeah, okay, Samuel Cosme at offensive line. If you could get Kyle Trask there and then still get an offensive lineman that's just as good as Samuel Cosme would be, you know what I mean? Or maybe up and a couple extra picks and try and get an offensive lineman that you like. So That's just me. We'll have to see. That being said, though, it wasn't a bad draft. I'm being kind of nitpicky with them.
Yeah.
So
that is like, if we're not NFL GMs, but if we were GMs, we would have done something a little bit different than what they did.
yeah.